this is my video for assignment 5. The objective was to create a program that would organize and manage class information. In line 1 to 3, I have the header files, IOStream, string, and IOMAN IP. In line 5, I use the namespace standard for all tools that require the standard namespace. In line 7, I have a preprocessor macro definition that allows me to set a limit within the program. The hashtag defined directive lets the system know to execute a text substitution. The max underscore students acts as a placeholder for the numerical limit of the program. In line 9 to 12, I have a structure under the name student. Inside, I have the following members: student ID, name, and grades. These members will act as a placeholder for the inputted student information. From line 15 to 20, I initiated the void operator to variables that will act as my placeholders and will help me calculate the lowest, highest, and average grade in the class, and print out the name and ID of the student. Inside the parentheses, I inserted the student structure so that the operator may take the class information and add the fundamental data type, count, so that the operator may execute variable declarations. In line 22, I have the int main function. In line 23, I added the student structure and inputted the local variable students to drag down the components into the main function. In addition, the preprocessor macro definition was added so that the int main program knows that the limit is 5 students. Line 24 to 25, I used the fundamental data type integer on the words count and choice. From line 27 to 31, I inputted 5 different student information based on their ID, their grades, and their names. In line 32, I initiated the limit of 5 students allowed into the program. From line 34 to 62, I used the do-while loop to have the system continuously run the program until the user decides to quit or exit the program. Inside the do-while loop, I established 5 different cases for the 5 categories: highest, lowest, average grade, student ID, and student name. Then I added inside the parentheses the local variable student to access the student information and added the local variable count to remind the system of the student limit. Case 6 and line 56 ends the program when the user is finished, or if the user inputs an invalid option, it will print out an error message. The system is able to do this due to the line of coding in line 62 that creates a loop that keeps running a block of code over and over. From line 67 to 74, I have the questions that are tied to the print menu function and the do-while loop in the previous section. Together, the 2 sections will grant the user the option to type in the number of the following options to know what the information would like to see. From 77 to 102 is where I created coding to calculate the highest, lowest, and average of student grades. By taking the local variable students and establishing the primitive variable grades, within the for loops, I also initiated the program to print out that information. From line 105 to 115, I had established coding that will print out each of the students' IDs and name. This is possible due to the parameters being connected to the student structure, local variable students, and the limited number of students allowed. In addition, adding the name and student ID attributes grants the for loop to access the values stored within it.